Thank you for enrolling in the Internet Mindset course. It's a free course for you to help you get started and help your business. Maybe you have a small business, maybe you want to start a business, and help that business start and grow. This course is powered to you by The Vegan Entrepreneur. It's a community that I run, and everybody's welcome to join. It's our Facebook group. The link you will find down below as well. So if you want to join, if you have questions, if you have everything, you can comment down below, or you can go inside of our Facebook group and join. So before I start with the whole course, and I've got this huge whiteboard behind me, before I start with this course, I want to tell you a little story. A story that actually happened this morning. This morning when I was walking with my girlfriend and my dog, and we ran into this really old guy. I mean, he was like 85, 90 years old, and he was super proud, and he talked about us. And he talked about us that it's 8 years ago, he never had any animals, he never had any pets, and then suddenly he got this relationship. He wanted the dog, and his wife already wanted the dog for a really long time. And this guy was telling us this story. This guy was, telling it in detail, like a really, really good storyteller. And what he told us was pretty cool. He went to that place, to a shelter, to pick up a dog. I thought it was really cool of him already, by the way. We've got our own shelter dog from Romania. But he went to a shelter to pick up his dog. And when he arrived there, he sat down on the table, and one dog out of all these dogs came to him under the table and licked his hand. And that moment he felt like that dog kind of chose him. And my girlfriend responded to that, and I watched her say that, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. That's a cool way for me, because I was planning on doing this course already. That's a cool way for me to start this course. And what she said is, if you choose to do, you will get. Like he told to the guy, but did you notice? The dog chose to do that, and now you have her. And I was like, hey, but that's super cool, because that's what life is all about. You chose to enroll in this course, and in this course, I hope you're going to learn a lot. I hope you're going to find it valuable, and I hope that I helped you a little bit with your business, or to start your business, or maybe help you further to consider if business is even something for you. So that's why, because it's all about choices. And the fact that you enrolled in this course means that you chose to make a step in the right direction. And that's why with the Vegan Entrepreneur, our slogan is, you are only one choice away. You're only one choice away from quit smoking, or quit your relationship, or go and start out and get more friends, or whatever it is that you want to do. It only takes one choice, one important moment. And the funny thing is, like, I really believe that life happens to you in a certain way. And because I was creating this course, maybe something started looking more into my perspective. You know, when you want to buy a red car, suddenly you see red cars everywhere. I think it's called Murphy's Law, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But this girl, who's also inside of our Facebook group already, she posted a quote, and it said, every level of your life will require a different version of you. And that's really it. Like, in this course, I'm going to talk about things that you're gonna like. You're gonna really like. But I'm also pretty sure I'm gonna talk about things that you don't really like. And that's often because you're not ready yet to go to the next level of doing the things necessary in order to achieve your goals. The absolute most important thing is self-awareness. Knowing where you stand, knowing what you're good at, knowing what you can do, knowing what you like, but also knowing what you don't like, and knowing the things that you are not good at. Let me give you a small example about me and how I am self-aware. I love music. I love playing guitar. I love singing, but I'm not a great musician. I cannot keep beats. I cannot keep rhythms. If I play with other people, I always lose track of everything. But that's fine. I know it. But I still went out in the streets in the Canary Islands, and I did some playing on the streets. I actually raised money. And you know what? Actually, I didn't plan this, but I will put in a video right now. So check out the video. This is what I did.
Every time I visit Spain, it looks like the crisis is hit again. More and more people are ending up living on the streets. By singing my favorite songs, I raised money for them. Together with my dad, we cooked 24 meals.
I'm gonna make fried rice.
We also added water, chips, bread and a fresh cold beer. We walked through the streets of Las Palmas and shared them around. One of the people I met was Francisco Javier. He lost his job, he lost his wife, And now he's here.
Yo lo que quiero es que si lo cuelgas en YouTube o haces tu estudio, que le muestres al mundo que hay gente que quiere luchar, que quiere subsistir.
Every meal we shared was received with so much love, and every bite they took was a bite of hope. Tomorrow they'll be hungry again. A quick one-time dinner doesn't change the world, but to them it changes everything. They have hope. I have hope. Care more, share more. Start today. Be selfieless.
So I hope you liked that video, and this is something that changed me. Doing this and doing something so good for something else. I experienced it once, I stepped out of my comfort zone, and it made me go to another level. So that's what I mean by stepping out of your comfort zone. It was scary for me to go on the street, it was scary for me to approach homeless people and giving them something. But I knew it was the right thing, and I knew that when I did it, first I turned vegan, then I started doing more things like this, and now I'm here. So it's all about, getting more aware. But in the end of this video, I will talk more about awareness. Let me first introduce myself a little bit. My name is Randy Harriman. I just turned 30, and I've always been a entrepreneur, but I never really knew that. I always created my own path. I always did my own thing. When I was 13, I wanted to learn how to kite surf. I didn't have money, so I started to learn how to build websites. I studied PHP, MySQL, JavaScript, HTML, all these things. But by then, there were not all these software tools available, so you really had to do everything. You had to code. You literally had to type out everything. And I did that, but like I always say, nobody will trust a 13-year-old because people really love to be skeptic and don't look beyond that. So that's another thing about mindset we'll talk about later in the course as well, because I think it's so important. And by the time I was 16, I finally got a loan from my parents to get a kite. I made a whole payment plan about how I was going to pay them back. I had my first kite lesson, and then I started kite surfing. By the time I was 17, I invested my money. I went to Brazil for a training for myself. I invested my own money. I saved €3,000, used it all to go to Brazil, chase my passion, chase my dreams, because I wanted to be really, really good as a kite surfer, and I felt like I had the talent. I believed in myself. Not like I ever believed that I could play the guitar, because I just knew that was not my type of thing. But this sport thing, kite surfing, I loved it, and it was really my thing. So I went to Brazil, I learned a lot, I invested, I hired a photographer, somebody made pictures, I made a video, I started promoting this, spreading this on the internet, basically doing the whole marketing that is available right now to us, and the ability for us to self-promote. So I did that, and it got noticed, it got traction. A year later, I was in the international team of a brand, started competing around the world, did a TV commercial for Nescafe, and then I injured my knee. I broke my ACL, and that was one of the down points of my career. My sponsors, they didn't support me, and my sponsors, they said, you know what, you're injured now, so we're not gonna help you now, but when you're back, we'll be happy to help you again. And to me, this was crazy. I worked for so long to get them from a C brand. Like, they were not a really famous known brand. And they used my image together with the rest of my teammates to go up and build up my image, and then they dropped me like that. So I felt kind of cheated. And while I was injured, I had to make money somehow. So I started to learn how to play poker, online poker. A friend brought me there, and I'm super competitive. So I was there, I was doing really well. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was doing really well. And I got fourth, and only the first 3 places actually paid out money. So that kind of, it kind of fucked with my mind, and I was like, what did I do wrong? And I started asking myself all these questions, and not that I got insecure about it, but I was eager to learn. I was eager to think and see if I could do more of this, because if I could make money with this while my sponsors don't pay me, then maybe even I could drop my sponsors and still compete the whole kitesurfing traveling tour and make my own money. Because I knew that in poker there's people making 200, 300, 400, 500,000 euro a year, and there are no exceptions. There's a lot of people doing this. Just a lot of passionate people who really try hard. Now I have to say, before you want to try and start up playing poker, it's not always fun. It's long days behind the computer, and I won't advise it to anybody, because the ups and the downs of losing that much money can be really tough mentally, but it helped me structure myself. So as you already guessed probably, I turned poker professional. I went back kiting, went back competing in the World Cup competitions, but I didn't have that passion and the drive anymore. And I think the moment that happened, I kind of gave up inside of myself, and the passion and the drive was gone. So I decided with my girlfriend at the time that we rather would go and live in Brazil. So we bought a little house in Brazil, moved there, told our sponsors goodbye, we're not coming back, and we started our new life. I played poker. Like I won some money in poker already, but nothing. Like literally, I could pay a flight ticket or something. But I was so convinced that I could do it if I would put my time and energy in it. And that's something why this whole first course that you're gonna see right now is shaped about mindset, shaped about perceptions, shaped about believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then you shouldn't even start. If you don't think your business or your idea or your cause for activism or whatever, if you don't believe in that cause 300%, you already lost. And I know you have to grow towards believing it more and more and more. But until you commit yourself to it 100%, make sure you believe in it 1000%. That's straight directly the first tip that I'm going to give you. So I was in Brazil. I lived there illegally because you can live there for 6 months and then you will have to go back to outside of Brazil to come back again. But I lived there for 6 months and we decided to stay, and that's when we forsake kite surfing. But then we're illegally and we wanted to travel, so I saved up money and I invested in a sandwich and smoothie bar called Gecko. We ran it for about 3 months and then we figured out, this was not really our business. We invested a lot of money, we built up everything, but we knew from ourselves, me and my girlfriend both, that this was not the type of business we want to run. So instead of staying sentimental to the amount of value I invested in the company and in building it, and that was a lot of money, especially to me at that time, it didn't seem logical to continue with something that I didn't see a future in or didn't feel that drive or passion in. So after 3 months we closed it down and we put it for sale. Eventually we sold it for a big loss because nobody really wanted to buy it. And I continued playing poker. Then in 2014 I broke up with my girlfriend at the time, moved back to the Netherlands, and about a year ago, April 2016, I turned vegan. This changed my life, it changed my perspective. It thought that the person that I thought I was, the person that I thought who always did good, who always tried to help people, I actually realized that all my thoughts that were almost pre-programmed or learned to me in the past were actually not true. And that made me question, and that made me go on a journey that made me lead from being an activist and being at the front line talking to different people to actually understanding that why these people don't understand it and why these people need to do it and what can I do to do something bigger. Like there's a lot of people being activists in the front line trying to promote the message, and that's super good. But when I was interviewing people, and you can check it out on itsnotsalad.com, there's a lot of there, or the YouTube channel, The Vegan Entrepreneur. I'll be starting my vlogging channel over there, which will also include my activism. It will include everything. But when I was starting there doing these street interviews, I really saw that people lack solutions. They empathize with the problem, but there's no solutions for them. So what that sparked in me after watching Before the Flood and how the current problems and the current state, it's getting worse and worse, and more experts start talking about it, I was like, I have to do more than just street activism, because street activism is super cool and I will keep on doing it. But I have other skills that I've learned in the years that I could use to help other people to do their own things and help activists become brands. So once they become brands, they will actually be able to to support them more. If they learn how to create a passive income that works automatically, then they can do more of what they love. But at the same time, I want to open animal shelters all around the world together with my girlfriend. But before I can do that, I will first need to work. I will first need to build a business, because I already know that I can't rely on other people to help me out and give me money, because why would they? Literally, why would they? So I started this non-profit organization in November called Lilita. And what we wanted to do with Lilita is create a marketing agency that markets for free, that markets and helps these non-profit organizations grow and expand their business so they can make more money, so they can promote more, so eventually the whole movement starts growing and gets bigger. It's all about creating awareness, creating solutions, and helping other people. These are the 3 core values that I carry with me right now, and that's the thing why I make this video. That's why I do this for free, and that's why I'm going to help people start their businesses. Or, if you already have a business, improve your business. So, about a month ago, I started the Vegan Entrepreneur, and this will be the first course. I hope you enjoy it. I'm sorry for the long intro, but I really think it's nice that you guys get to know me a little bit. Let's get started. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the new age of media. I've been talking to so many people, and so many people have no idea how the real internet is actually working right now and how people eventually make money. People think you make money by creating a good video on YouTube and then you get a lot of views, but I heard that for 1 million views you're gonna get about, how much was it? You read it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, so it was nothing, like €1,000 or something. So 1 million views for €1,000, I don't think you pay the bills by that, and it's really hard to get 1 million views. I'll show you later in the course how you only need 1,000 people actually to really like you and be inspired by you or like your product or whatever to make a really, really good living. But to that we go later. YouTube is not just a place for people to upload their videos. YouTube are TV stations. Every single individual can have a TV station, just like every single person can have a newspaper based on a blog. Every single person can start out and start a radio show, a podcast. Whatever you want to create right now, you can create your own medias, and the people are consuming more and more of this content every day. And if you understand marketing, marketing is all about attention. Where does the attention go? And where the attention goes, the money eventually follows, because the people who want to sell the products want to invest in that. So there's a lot of ways you can make money, whatever your passion is, it doesn't matter. So if you have a passion and you want to do that all day, then this is definitely the right course for you to be at. So understanding these medias, that's one thing. And we're gonna go into it deeper later on. But the other thing is, what type of person are you? And this is something, because I've been studying so much in the past years about everything, and especially about business in the past 6-7 months, what type of person are you? And I realized about 4 or 5 months ago that I was a consumer. I kept buying stuff that I didn't really need because the marketers convinced me that I needed it. So this can be really silly stuff, this can be whatever, but it can also be a car or a watch or an expensive pair of jeans or an extra pair of shirts or an extra sweater, etc., whereas you don't need it. So then I started to read this book by Robert Kiyosaki. The book's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And for those of you who don't know the book, I'm not an expert in the book, but I will teach you something that I learned and I took away from it and that changed my whole mindset. So what he basically did is, he says there's a quadrant, he had a rich dad and he had a poor dad. And he said, this is the way of life. You're either one of these 4 types of characters. You're either an employee, you are a small business owner, you're a business owner, or you are an investor. And his poor dad, let me put it here, poor, so this would be rich. His poor dad said, go out, get an education, become a dentist, and get a lot of money. Because a dentist gets a lot of money. The problem is, you function as an employee within a system, and therefore the governments charge you really high taxes. It's different everywhere in the world, but it's somewhere around 40%. Some countries it's even more. And the problem is that the more you earn, the higher the tax bracket, so the more you pay. So if you're an employee, you can never get wealthy, you can never earn money, and it's really hard. If you're a small business owner, you now own a business. So you're not an employee, you're already one step further. But the problem about a small business owner is that you will always have to work inside of your business. You are the one who has to do the work. So you will always be stuck to a limited amount of hours you've got. It's really hard to scale and get big and get a lot of clients, and it's still taxed a lot. I know the exact percentage, but it's still high. So let's say 30%. I think in Holland it's 29 or 21. I'm not a tax expert, so excuse me for that. But these things, these both sides, you always depend on yourself and on somebody else to do the stuff for you. What I mean by that is that here you need to depend on a business owner that hires you, and here you're the guy employed in your own business. You're an employee of your own business, let's put it that way. This is a really poor strategy, because then he explained that in this strategy, if you own a business, every country needs businesses. So there's a lot of benefits for people to start a business and make something, create employment, create new products, create a better world. So these people get taxed a lot less. I don't know the exact number, but these people get taxed a lot less. So you can check out with your financial expert, he can tell you a lot more about this. But the beauty is that you can work on your business. You can spend time doing the things you want, doing the things you love, and outsource the rest. Let people work inside of your business who are way better than you are. And that's where self-awareness plays a big part. I know I'm really good at strategies, marketing, all these things, but I'm not a good designer, I'm not a good developer, I'm not a good coder, I'm not a good any of these things. I learned how to do them, but I'm not as talented as my designer who made this beautiful webpage that you see right now. So it's better to get the people around you that complete you, and this becomes a team sport. So if you are the owner of a business, you basically have to see yourself as a coach, as a person who wants to get the best out of his team. Understand that the people you work with should be better than you, because that's why you hire them. That's the team you build around them. Also, if you get somebody who's not as good, you fire him. It's the same reason why a football club doesn't put their best players on the bench, but actually puts them in the field. And if you're not good enough, you just don't even make the selection. Business is the exact same thing, because we're competing against each other every single time. Even if you're a vegan business or even if you're a whatever business, competition is always there. That's the shame of capitalism, but also the beauty of capitalism. Because to me, capitalism is a tool that if you use it right and you create the wealth around you, you can do the things you want to do. You can create the things you truly love. So capitalism is just a tool to create the world. So doing this, suddenly you're in a team sport, and now you're in the rich zone. You're on the right side of the quadrant. And once you get this, you can work up and get the wealth to then invest in other businesses and invest in big companies and invest in other projects. This could be non-profit projects, but this could also be business projects that make you even more wealthy, because every country needs investors. That's what he explained. Every country needs investors, and it's logical. Without businesses and investors, there wouldn't be a country. So because of that, if you work your way around it, and if you are smart, and if you know how to do it, there's ways in every country in the world where here you pay close to 0% tax. So now look at the difference. If you understand this, being an investor, compared to that, I mean, here you make millions, here you make a few thousand, and here you have to pay 40%, and here you have to pay 0. So once you get this, and you can get into this stage, you have to work your way up. Now, I never started in this stage actually, but I never had the opportunity to start this or this. So I was a bit in between, because I was a bit weird. I did my own poker, I did my own kite surfing. This is nothing traditional, this has nothing to do with business. But I was more somewhere around here, because I'm still relying on myself, I was still doing everything myself, everything on my own. Now, I recently started, in November I opened up my digital marketing agency. And that's why I became a small business owner. But the only reason why I'm a small business owner right now is to be able to make the jump as quickly as possible to here. So once I'm here, I can build my team, I can scale my business, and once I'm here, I can get enough money and then invest in other businesses. The whole Vegan Entrepreneur group is about creating a network, creating opportunities, creating like-minded people to help you out and find a team that's better than you. And I want to be the coach, I want to be the guide who helps and gets the best out of my people. So far, my business is about coaching people, helping them structure their business and making them grow. This is how I will accumulate my wealth, and this is how I will fuel my clients for my digital marketing agency. Then once that grows and I'm getting more clients, I can outsource it, first work with freelancers, but then eventually, once I've got enough money, hire the team to help me and build and scale the Vegan Entrepreneur. And then we start from there. Once that's scaled, I can find a lot of other people who are interested and having great ideas to invest in some of these people and their nice, green, sustainable ideas. So the whole Vegan Entrepreneur is my roadway to go from somewhere like a small business to a team sport type of business, and then eventually become an investor. So I hope I explained this right for you, and that's why I immediately wanted to go to the subject of minimalism. I watched this documentary about 2 months ago and it's called The Minimalist. It's on Netflix, you can check it out. Otherwise you can Google it, they have a blog, you can research it, add yourself in Facebook groups. And it's interesting. I'm in no way a minimalist. And I really used to be the absolute opposite. I wanted to consume. But now I realize I don't want to be a consumer. I want to become an investor. I want to become financially free and get rich and do all these things. So the only way to do that is to minimize, is to not go on that extra holiday. Not go on holiday at all actually. I canceled all my holiday plans for the next 2 years. Why? Because if I invest all the money I make now and reinvest it in my business, I can get quicker to this part. And once I'm in this part, I can go on holiday whenever I want because I will have people working for me. And then while I'm on holiday, I can actually work on scaling the business. So, especially today with the internet, it's possible now. And that's what I meant with new age media. Before there were gatekeepers, before it was not possible for you to get your message out there, to start your own TV station, to go live on Facebook when you're in the middle of an event. It would have cost you thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But right now, through Facebook, thanks to Mark Zuckerberg and his team, and all the other apps around now that do the exact same thing, we have this world where we can do so much stuff and we can spread our message just the way I'm doing right now, just the way I'm talking to you now. So these are opportunities that are out there for you if you're willing to take them. And therefore you have to go and step out of your comfort zone and you have to understand the different mindsets that go with that. So that's why I created this course. The first episode will be all about mindset. And the first thing I want to talk about, or the second thing actually, is getting 1,000 fans. Because if you can get 1,000 fans, sorry I dropped my marker, if you can get 1,000 fans, and 1,000 fans are not that hard when you think globally. When you find your passion, if you find 1,000 people as passionate about that as you, and you become the guy that is, actually inspiring them, then these 1,000 fans, if you can sell them something for around, if you can sell them on average for €100 a year, suddenly you make €100,000 a year. So the job of becoming an influencer is not just to get money because YouTube pays you because they run advertisements on that. If you do that, you lose out on a lot of potential money. And money isn't bad. With money you can do whatever you want, like I said before. Because I know that a lot of people I talk to, they're like, yeah, but... Those are excuses. If you make a lot of money, you can spend it on whatever you want, good or bad. Money just emphasizes who you are. So there's nothing wrong with that. If you get this and you can create that, then you already have a really, really good business. And then I'm going to show you some tips and tricks in the next days that will actually allow you to scale it and make it bigger, make it better, and share your passion with more people. Because in the end, that's what it's about. If your passion is about helping other people grow, or even if you have a product, like even a clothing line or whatever, if you understand the way the internet can work today, and trust me, for 95% of the people who watch this, you're going to be amazed by what's possible and how easy it is to actually do it and how you can do it yourself. So if you are going to watch the next courses in the next days, you're going to learn all about that. But right now, I want to talk about the excuses that people make, because getting 1,000 fans takes a lot of time and effort. Right now, I invested €1,000 in my vegan entrepreneur community to help it grow, to pay advertising and all these things. Because you'll have to invest money. That's why you have to become an investor. I invested about €1,000 right now into the vegan entrepreneur community for marketing. And right now we've got about 260 people joining inside of the community. I think maybe 3 or 4 might be actually fans and buy something from me, but that needs time. They need to warm up. Everything needs to happen in time. But I'm getting there, step by step. And that's the thing that it takes with becoming successful in anything. Knowing how to take the steps and stop hiding behind the excuses. Stop hiding behind the fact that you need a really good camera, or that you need a really, you need to do this more, or you need to find your passion better and faster, or you need to do this. Like, if you're not doing it, it's because you're trying to find ways to justify for yourself why you're not good enough to actually tell that. Somebody told me the other day that our biggest fear is not that we are not good enough. Our biggest fear is that we are actually greater than we think we are. Because once we think we are greater than we actually believe we are capable as human beings to do so much more. I've had this process of awakening, and now I'm standing in front of the camera. If you would have asked me this a year ago, it would have been impossible. I couldn't even be on camera. Like, I was feeling really awkward. But if you push yourself, if you get there, if you're willing enough to do what it takes, you will get there yourself. And I see this with my students, the people I'm coaching right now. I see how they're growing. I see how they're doing it. So you don't have to be special for it. You just have to be willing enough. If you want it bad enough, you'll always get it. And that's why in the Vegan Entrepreneur we say you're only one choice away, because in the end, it's all about choices and asking the right questions. I've got this small example that I want to give you, so to give you some food for thought. If I would tell you that you really like a car and the car is super nice and it will cost you €500,000 to buy it and you have to buy it today, what would you say? It's likely that you probably said to yourself, I don't have the money, so I won't buy it. But now let's turn it around. Now let's say I kidnapped your mom, your dad, your lover, your brother, and I'll say you have to give me let's say €50,000 today. And it's likely that you also don't have €50,000. But I know that you won't give up then. I know then you're gonna try, because your question wouldn't be, I don't have it. That's not even a question. Your question would be, how am I gonna get that money? I have to get that money. I have to do it. So it's the exact same situation. It's just which perspective do you put into it? Which questions do you ask yourself? If you ask yourself, you will always get the answers you're looking for. And yeah, maybe you have to fall 99 times, but if you stand up 100 times, you'll always win. So that's something for you to think about. The right questions and determination. And the only way you can do that is by knowing your end goal, knowing why you want to do something. When something is bigger than you are, like veganism is to me, like helping other people is to me. If it's bigger than you, you're willing to put yourself out there on the line. If it's about you and you're the influencer and you're the this, you're the that, it's super hard. I mean, it's frustrating because you really care about what the other people think, and if they don't like you and you feel like you are the influencer to those people, then you are really vulnerable for their judgments. But if you do it for something bigger, something that's way beyond you, you don't care about what other people think because you know why you're doing it. So if it's about your business or about getting that dream job or getting that whatever, if you know what you want, you go through fire to get it. So I'll go to the next slide. The other thing is, that's also a big part of mindset, is the hustle. The amount of work that it takes to get there. And that you always have to stay optimistical, because it's about the perspective of the car. You have two choices. Either you're optimist or you're a pessimist. And some people say, no, I'm a realist. But I mean, for everything is a solution. Literally, everything has a solution, except when we're talking about fatal disease or stuff like that. But like, let's say the general stuff we're talking about, building a business, solving these problems, all these little problems that you consider big problems, they have solutions. So think positive, and in the next episodes we're going to talk about building the business. I hope you're as excited as me. As a bonus, I want to talk about a concept that is kind of a marketing concept, but I translated it to veganism, and I really, really would like you to hear this, because if you understand this concept, it will also help you with your marketing and your business later on, but it might also help you communicate a lot better with other people. For me, it's the method, the way of thinking I'm using to communicate with other people and to we got the meal delivery. I was afraid the dog was gonna bark, but for me, it's what I'm using to communicate with people. So let me draw it for you so you can actually get a grip. And I came up with this concept when I started Lilita. And when I started Lilita, I was like, okay, I have to figure out something. How am I going to reach the people? How am I going to reach the people that are stubborn and don't want to change it? Because What I want to do with Lolita is change the people's minds that are now shouting against us vegans because they don't understand it yet. And that's why I created the awareness ladder. So if I go here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I go here, these are the 10 steps of the awareness ladder. So this would be step number 1, step number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In business, this works kind of similar. So that's also why I'm sharing it with you. If you offer coaching, like let's say I offer my coaching right now, and right now to you I tell you I can build your business and I can make your business to a huge success. All you have to do is pay me 10,000 euro. You have 10 hours to decide, are you going to pay me? It's very likely you're not going to pay me. Either you don't have enough money, but well, we know it's not about the money. You can write a business plan, you can do everything to get the money. There's solutions for that. So that's an excuse. But you're not going to pay me. Why? Because you don't know me. You don't know anything about me except for the things that I just told you. So you're here, you're cold. We call this cold traffic. So the people who would see me right now, the people who are listening to me right now, they're over here, they're in the cold area. But if you would be here and you're bloody hot and you're a huge fan of the work that I'm doing, then for sure you're gonna pay me if that's what you want. If you want to build a business and you can get that budget, you would invest that budget. So it's all about the awareness ladder. And for veganism, I would say veganism would be somewhere around level 7 because a lot of vegans, oh sorry, not level, it should be vegan. A lot of vegans think they are so much better than the people below. So that might be the vegetarian or the, the pescatarian, or it is the 50-50 diet, I don't know what it's called exactly, there's a name for it, but I can't remember. Or it is the meat eater, or it is the people who eat everything. And it's the cannibals. Just hypothetically speaking, I mean, I'm just giving you an example. So you have to realize that when you're vegan, you're not perfect yet. I mean, I have a car, I drive a car, I'm planning on selling it because of my minimalistic lifestyle. I want to invest this money in my business because I want to be an investor, but I have a car. I mean, I'm wearing leather shoes now. I'm not perfect. I didn't buy them, but I had them before I even turned vegan. And I'm still using it because I think it's practical. But I like to take long showers, whereas there's people here that just sit around, meditate all day, don't pollute at all. Or there's people here that are just sun gazing. And like, there's always people that are better than you. So if you know that, if you realize that, then also don't judge the people that are here, because it took me 30 years to get here. So it's normal that people who come from a society of meat eaters, of people who are always talking and like so used to that. I mean, imagine religion, no matter what religion, and I don't have anything against religion, but all religions, when you're born, when you're a child, somebody taught you these concepts, somebody taught you these principles. So if you know these principles and they're stuck in your mind, it's hard to accept that it was not the right thing. So it's hard to accept that it's like that. So that's why we all need time. So to me, the activists are really influencing the people here. So if I would go out in the street doing interviews, the people here are open-minded. They're talking to me, they're willing to listen to me, and the people are happy that I informed them and I can actually take them up my value ladder awareness ladder and bring them here. But the people over here, they're angry, they're fighting, they're shouting, especially the people over here. Like, they're fighting. They're fighting against themselves. They're fighting against the truth because they kind of feel like it's true, but they are, stubborn. I mean, it's always been like this. There's no other way. We need our proteins. I mean, they come up with these excuses over and over again. It's the same in everything. It's in business, it's in life, it's in everything. It's excuses. They keep making excuses. Then here people, they don't even understand. Like, they don't even pay attention to you. They don't even care. Like, these people are cannabis smoking hippies and they don't know anything. So what I want to do with Lolita, I want to take people from this area and bring them to this area So then here, the activists can actually go out, do their job, and transform these people to actually vegans and move everybody up on that value ladder. So that's the idea of the value ladder. That's the idea of getting customers actually, because the same thing is like this. If here they become your customer, well, they're starting here and you have to realize that. So you have to bring them up on your awareness ladder so they become aware of you and then actually become a customer. So that's it for the first day. I really hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow we will talk about making your dream business, building your dream business, how to find your passion and how to start your business. Thank you and see you tomorrow. Bye.